16-year-old Jake stretched out on the floor, his nose in a graphic novel adaptation of Treasure Island. Jim Hawkins balanced precariously in the rigging of the ship, a pirate clambering after him with murder in his eyes. Jake studied each panel before he turned the page. Having been pulled out of school at 12 to work for his uncle's supervillain gang, his skills at things like reading and basic math had become worse than rusty. Thankfully, when he had escaped the gang, well, at the time, being captured by superheroes hadn't seemed like much of an escape, but looking back almost 9 months later, it really had been. His new guardians, Fade and Prism, had been understanding. When Prism had realized long-form novels were a bit much for Jake's attention span and vocabulary levels, she'd invested in comic books. As dweeby as he felt admitting it, Jake had discovered that he adored comic books. Prism had given birth to her and Fade's second child, a boy named Curran, a few weeks ago. With the new baby, the Guardians had less time to spend making up training exercises for the 3 superpowered teens under their care. That meant that once their online schooling and chores were complete, the teens were free to read, watch TV, and play video games. So paradise as far as Jake was concerned. "Oh, wow!" Jake looked up at his friend, 14-year-old Marco, who sat a few feet away on a beanbag chair. Not having Jake's academic issues, the kid was reading a green-covered book, far thicker than anything Jake would dare to touch.
"What?"
Jake sighed, not wanting to take the bait, but sensing Marco wanted to chit-chat. "Dude, Bilbo used his magic ring and stole the Arkenstone right out from under the dwarves!" Marco's brown eyes widened. Jake snickered.
"Told you the dude was a supervillain."
"But he seems so nice," Marco protested.
"You also told me the guy basically signed up for a quest where his job description was literally burglar, then cheated his way into a magic ring."
Jake focused on his comic book again.
"Total supervillain move."
"I guess, but he's got good reasons for what he does, you know," Marco said. "Maybe it'll turn out all right, but I'm worried the dwarves will hurt him." He flipped through the remaining pages of the book. "I think I can finish this afternoon if I keep at it. Do you think Prism will let me read through lunch?"
"You know they have a movie of that, right?"
Jake asked. "The books are always better." Marco shook his head, dislodging some of his black curls to cover his eyes. Kid needed a haircut. The thought made Jake self-conscious of his own scruffy, dirty brown locks, and he pushed them back from his forehead. "Plus, Fade said the movies weren't very good for The Hobbit, but they're great for The Lord of the Rings. I want to read The Hobbit so I can read The Lord of the Rings before I watch The Lord of the Rings. Then maybe we can get some Lord of the Rings video games and have like a whole night to really get into it. Maybe even wear costumes." Jake wrinkled his nose.
"Dude, if you get any nerdier, you're never going to get a girlfriend. Like, ever."
Marco shrugged. "The only girl here is Laleh, and that'd be kind of like dating a cousin or something." Jake grimaced.
"You're right. I think I'd rather be a monk."
"You can't be a monk. You'd never be able to take the vow of silence." Both boys' heads shot up to stare at the doorway to the room. A teen girl with a shiny black ponytail and a disapproving face watched them, her arms crossed over her oversized mint green sweater. Hey, Laleh." Marco's gaze dropped to the floor. How long have you been—" "Don't worry, Marco. I don't want to date you either." She stomped straight past the boys to the far side of the room, where a large wire cage held her pet ferret, Where's It. "You in there, boy?" The ferret appeared on one of the platforms, not jumping onto it or coming out from behind something, but literally flickering into view like a holograph in an old sci-fi movie. Laleh opened her hand and started passing him bits of cheese through the cage's wires.
"You know Prism says that's bad for his digestion,"
Jake grunted. "A little won't hurt him." Laleh faced the boys again. "Since you're both here—"
"The 4 scariest words in the English language, at least coming from you,"
Jake said. She stuck her tongue out at him. "We need to talk."
"No, never mind. Those are the 4 scariest."
Jake stood.
"I just remembered I need to be elsewhere."
"Don't be a jackass. This is important." Her voice took on a slightly plaintive tone, so Jake subsided. She let out a long breath before she continued.